This episode is sponsored by Factor. If you didn't already know by the longer days and scent of suntan lotion in the air, summer's here and our schedules are busier than ever. Let's face it, between work, life, well, that covers a lot, and pretending you're outdoorsy on Instagram, cooking is now just aspirational performance art. That's where Factor comes in. Factor meals arrive fresh and ready to eat. Get started at factormeals.com/random50off and use code RANDOM for 50% off plus free shipping. This episode is sponsored by Z-Biotics, the probiotic that turns hair of the dog from an act of desperation into an act of premeditation. Summer is here, which means more opportunities to celebrate the warm weather. Don't forget your Z-Biotics pre-alcohol. Drink one before drinking, wake up feeling great and ready to take on the next day and all that summer has to offer. Go to zbiotics.com/random to learn more and get 15% off your first order when you use random at checkout. Well, I'm 5'8". How do you think I feel?
Put your wallet underneath both feet and then how tall are you? Exactly.
So why don't you join the Steelers? That'd be great. Because he's on the Steelers now.
I won't say that it's not a possibility.
Odell here?
Nope, not here.
Beckham?
Yes, sir.
Reporting is ordered? How are you? Excuse my left.
Okay, I'll make sure.
Sports injury, which I'm sure you're familiar
No,
with.
I never had any of those.
You had worse. Although you wouldn't want this. It's called a mallet finger.
Yeah.
Happens in basketball. That's how I got it. The ball hits, like straight on, and it's like I saw the doctor. He said you'd be much better if you had broken the bone because it's the tendon.
Yeah. Or mallet finger, I had a boutonniere deformity. Boom, it hit it just like this, and they told me keep it in a sling. It'll be straight.
And was it?
Yeah, I tried to keep it as.
And you're the one-hand catch guy. Of all the people.
A few of them, yeah.
I got to tell you, lifelong New York Giant fan.
Yes, sir.
I mean, literally learned it on my father's knee, who was a fan from like the inception of the team in the 20s. My father, he was a kid. So like, I took him to the Super Bowl out here in '86 when they played the Broncos when I couldn't even afford it, but it was important. So like, your years with the Giants, thank you.
Yeah.
For great memories, because that's my team.
Definitely.
And,
For me too, shit, it was just like, it's crazy because it was a different time and age at that time, and just, I'll never forget where I came from and then going to New York and how thick of skin I already had and how much thicker of skin I grew.
Because of New York?
Man, but I love New York forever
Yeah,
for the rest of my life.
I mean, you've been with a few teams since then. It's got to be, but it's got to be, it's got to be tough when you start in New York because you're kind of, right. I mean, where you
anywhere else you're going is never going to be that.
Look, I grew up outside of New York, and that's why they're still my teams.
Yeah.
I was a Met owner for a while. I mean, I'm all in on New York, but I've lived here for 40 years. I never really liked living in New York.
Yeah.
But I get it that it's the Mecca.
If we're being honest, New York is, you know what I mean? It's like, it's New York. Like, respect to New York.
Right.
I love LA, it's a different vibe.
Yeah.
But it's New York, bro. Like, and it's so funny because when I was there, it was always like, I had just started kind of going out to LA and I had never been to California or whatever. And it was like, man, to be like, the LA would be something, but like, to be the king of New York or to be, legend in New York, it's completely different.
And you were.
Yeah.
I remember Chris Collinsworth, like, coming in his pants when you made that catch. I mean, the sperm almost came through the TV. It's like, shut the fuck up. I mean, it was certainly.
I didn't have anything to do with that. I didn't feel that, see that, or nothing.
I'm just saying, it is funny to me the way sportscasters, sports, the sport that's like super macho and there's nothing gay about it, and yet they're kind of gay the way. I mean, they just go gay for the players that they
Yeah.
love, and you know, I mean, look in the stands. You're wearing another man's shirt.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying
Not at all.
it's not quite the macho image that they think. But there's been a gay player now, didn't somebody come out in recent years? A
There's
football player?
there's a few, but it's like, you know what? I
DL?
mean, the world is open. Like, you be who you are. I personally, I feel like this. Every man has to look at himself in the mirror. Every woman has to look at themselves in the mirror and be comfortable with themselves. Like, and I am who I am. It's something that I kind of live by. If that's you, that's you. You know? And it's just like, I know that makes it difficult, and it's, especially in the sport of football, it's kind of like, it's a tough cookie for people to, like, you know what I mean, get with, but
There's something about sports. I mean, obviously, it's just a bro thing and a guy thing,
right.
and there's still a lot of, I'm sure, Neanderthals and good
Yeah.
old boys, and also Christians. You know, that's a big thing, especially in the black community.
Right.
I mean, you know, there's a lot of, you know, boy, ineligible man downfield. You don't want an
Right.
eligible man downfield.
Brother, everybody, listen, free world we live in.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like at the end of the day, what else are we looking for in this lifetime but to fulfill ourselves and be happy?
Are you?
Other me?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm happy.
But you say it like
I'm working on
throwing
it.
the glove down. Yeah. I'm
Like,
glad you are.
I'm you know, and I'm still working on
Why? What
things.
makes you happy these days? No, you're not with a team,
Not with a team
so
right
you don't
now.
care.
It's
Or you
not even.
do?
I care a lot.
You do.
I've
You still
worked.
got stuff in the tank.
I got shit that I gotta prove.
You can still get open.
I promise you that. And I got, you know, I like to stay under the radar right now because I'm like, I'm trying to figure out my own life. It's like life hits at different times, and it's like real shit happens. And like for me, having my son, like, just imagine you get to the pinnacle of your dream, Super Bowl, da da da. I'm telling you, the game plan that McVay had drawn up, and me, Coop,
Where's your
Stafford,
ring?
everybody. I'll have to wear it. We know about it. You know?
That's a great fucking attitude.
We
That's
know
great.
about it.
That's like, you ever read The Art of War? He says, you know, keep the sword right behind you. But if you ever have to touch it,
Yeah, hey,
you've already lost.
come on. It's
Right.
right there.
That's right there.
And it's just like, it just like, and obviously that's a touchy subject for me because it's bittersweet. But it's like, I went and joined that team.
Yeah, and you made that great fucking catch and got hurt, right? Yeah.
It wasn't just that. It was the whole playoffs. It was the energy in the building. People don't know the whole dynamic of how Von Miller, Jalen, like the whole locker room, like it was like that brotherhood thing is real. Like when you have guys who are really rocking with each other, and I came to a great team, and I'll never forget. I came to that team, and funny story, Robert Woods. I'm walking on the practice field. I watched it. They were practicing hard. I was like, damn, they're practicing hard.
Robert Woods.
Robert Woods.
Who is that again?
He was in LA.
No, remind me what position?
Receiver.
Robert Woods. Okay,
Robert
so he played
Woods.
alongside you as receiver.
He was in LA,
Okay.
tore his ACL the day I was walking on the field. Major part of their offense, went to Houston. He's had a great career. And it was like they were practicing hard, and it was just like the competitiveness. I'll never forget 2 days, me signing, me having an ACL where like people didn't even know. It took me like 24 hours to sign the deal because Dr. Elatraj came in. He was like, yeah, we have to let you know that you don't have ACL, your MRI, blah, blah, blah. He's like, we could redo your surgery or you could play with it. And I was like, I'm gonna die on the sword. Like, I've come too far.
Right.
I've been through too much.
And you
like,
may not ever get there again.
I'm ready to go. This is
Right.
when I was just leaving the Cleveland situation that happened. But anyway, signed over there. And I'll never forget, like week after week, Dr. Elatraj was like, that is my family now. McVay, the whole like family. Like
Did he do the one who did Aaron Rodgers too?
I don't
No,
know, but Dr. Advertisers is the
he's the
man.
man.
Shout out to Doc
Right.
because he really is the man. He's a good dude, good family, beautiful family.
So he fixed your foot,
My knee,
your knee.
my foot was in New York. That's another story.
Well, you got to
But
bring your foot when you get traded. You
definitely,
can't leave your foot in New York. I mean, come on, you're an athlete.
The foot is what started everything, and it's so crazy that people really don't even know this story. Is like my doctor, Dave Hancock. I'll never forget this. He was like, mate, this is the type of injury that'll ruin people's careers. I've seen it happen multiple times. He's worked with multiple sports teams, Chelsea, the whoever's all over in Europe. He's a soccer player, and he's like, what you're having done, like grade 2 high ankle sprain, what it could turn into is really bad. And I came back 3 or 4 weeks too early. I'll never forget, I had to sit out the first week of Dallas, at Dallas, and Dallas beat us, and it was a division game, and I was feeling all the pressure, and I was like, I gotta come back for my team. We had week 2 against the Lions, and it was a Monday night game, and it was like, I know I'm not really ready, but I can't see us going 0-2 and starting off in a bad way. Like, I gotta try and find a way to get back for my team.
I never understand how athletes can play when they're, not at 100% because the nature of elite athletes and professional sports, the reason why we watch them is because, everybody on the field, like when they were in grade school, high school, they were like way, way, way above all the other kids as far as how good they were. I'm sure you were too. And then they get to college, and if you can still be like elite, but even a lot of great college players go to the pros. I've seen enough episodes of Hard Knocks to know the coach is like, it's just faster up here.
Yep.
Everything is just faster. And this guy was great in college, and we cut him in 3 days.
Yep.
So, like, considering that you have to be on that much of a razor's edge level just to be that much better than the guy you're playing against, I don't know how you can do it when you're nursing an injury.
It's like the heart. It's like the heart of who you are. And for me, God had already blessed me with the parents that I have. Like, I come from, dad was an all-world running back, supposed to back up Barry Sanders, instead of staying in Texas, decided to go to LSU. My mom was all-world track and field, went to the 92 Barcelona Olympics, pregnant, came in 5th place, or 4th or 5th, or whatever, so she didn't qualify, but she had a drug test, and she found out she was pregnant. That's why I'm a little thrown off, honestly, because I'm 4 or 5 months pregnant, and she's running. She's running with me. Yeah, that's why I'm a little, I have my issues myself.
And you think that's because your mother was jostling you when you were in the womb,
She was running too
So you were
fast.
just like...
Yeah, I was just,
Right.
But my mom had
Well,
abs.
my mom drank, because that's what women in the 1950s did. She drank and smoked. And I go, well, okay.
Listen. Listen, we all came out okay.
Well,
man.
you know who else is? Maybe your mother knows her. Probably she does. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah.
His mother was an Olympian.
Wow.
Did you know that?
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, Gilgeous. I guess she married a guy named Alexander, but that's his heritage.
That's fire.
Yeah. You should call him out. You should call him on that.
It's his time.
Because I bet you guys would relate.
He's like...
Yeah.
He's just in his era. He's a good man. He's a good father, husband, or I think I don't know his situationship, but he seems like a good dude, and he's just focused, and he's just...
I know, but let's not pretend you have to be a father and a husband to be a good man, right?
We're men, bro.
I know,
men,
but I've
women,
never
whatever.
been married or had kids, so I can still be a good man, right?
And we are who we are. You know what I mean?
That's who I am.
If I can look myself in the mirror, I can accept my flaws for who I am.
Yeah, but that's not a flaw. That's just a choice, right?
Yeah.
I mean, do you want to? You're not married.
No, I'm not married.
Well, there you go.
You know?
Do you want to be?
Who knows? Maybe.
I bet you if you did, you would. I'm sure lots of ladies would say yes.
If it happens, it happens, But it's just...
What do you mean? Well, it happens if you say, "Will you marry me?"
No,
Now,
but
don't clip that and look like I'm asking him to marry me,
yeah,
please.
definitely. I don't know if you're doing that, but my knee hurts right now. I don't know if I can get down on there right now.
What a
But
good excuse.
at some point, it just is about where you're at in your life. Like everything is about
Don't do it, man.
life, life, the ebbs and the flows. Like it just,
Flow and go.
that's it.
As an athlete, I mean, even in the off season, you can't really go buck wild with partying, right?
But I'm saying why though? At the end of the day,
Right.
you work hard, you play hard. Like I was gifted with an ability, and not everyone was gifted with that ability.
No.
It's for you. It's life. Everything is about balance. How can you moderate, and how everything in moderation is good. So as far as
So
do you
what?
drink? Do you what? This whatever, bro. Like you.
But obviously, you keep yourself in pristine shape because you still want to play. You're an iconic figure in the sport, and I can't believe that some team uh, isn't going to be. I don't know who you would fit with,
Mhm.
but like if you still have the passion and think you can
Oh,
do it, I'm sure. My
I'm,
boy Aaron Rodgers, who I love, sat there. What?
you're too good at this. I'm gonna tell you this.
He was there. I
I'm gonna
love
tell you
him.
this. I got too much pride. I got too much. Since I was 4 or 5 years old, I've sacrificed too much to get to where I'm at.
Yeah.
To let anybody write my story off, except for how I want to write it or how God's gonna write it for me. So
So
I,
4 or 5, that young? You were like
my,
you thought you were going to do this when you were 5?
long story short, I'll tell you a quick short story. My mom, 4 years old. I was in Atlanta, Georgia. My mom was a track coach at Georgia Tech. My stepdad was Olympic gold medalist. The '96 Olympics was in Atlanta at the
I
original.
remember.
This is like one of my first memories, like one of my first things that I can remember. I was 4 years old.
Wow.
Um, my stepdad won a gold medal in the '96 Olympics. My mom was a 12-time All-American, 12-time, I don't know the numbers, but my mom was a beast. Like my mom was the real deal.
Right.
And I just remember, she went to Georgia Tech, Rice, Tulane, that. And she's at track practice coaching, and I'm on the pole vault pit, throwing the football up to myself, doing one-hand catches, doing catches,
At 5.
diving, bottom of my feet, dirty as fuck. You know what I mean? Like, that was me,
Wow.
like, growing up. Matt Forte could attest to it at Tulane. He was always just working, nigga. He was over there just, like, working, like. And 4 years old, I remember it was snowing in Atlanta. I always tell this story. My mama came outside. She looked around the house. She couldn't find me. She came outside. She's like, she cussed me out a little bit. But like, what are you doing out here? Like, I had no shirt, just my socks and shoes on, shorts, whatever, throwing the football to myself. And I told her, I was like, I'm practicing for Sundays. And she was like, I said it with so much conviction. She was like, I had no choice but to push you to be who you were. Like, it was just
And
built
she
in me.
did.
And
Push you.
I gave up the weekends. I gave up every weekend we were in Biloxi, Mississippi, this, that, for a soccer tournament, or this, that, for a basketball, or this. Like, bro, sports was everything for me. Like, I was always.
Kids want to be playing sports. I mean, I played sports every weekend also. They just weren't in like tournaments. It was my backyard, but it was what I wanted. You must not have had, it must have been actually fun for you, no?
No.
Too much pressure?
No, for me, it was different. Like, I could stand on this, and it is what it is, because, we could all do if was a, but like, take injuries aside, like, as far as athletes in the world, with God and my mom, my pops, everybody, whatever happened to me, I was one of those athletes in the world that could go from playing multitude of sports. Go take go take your LeBrons and all, you know what I mean? Like everybody,
Baseball?
whatever,
You could have played baseball, you think?
whatever.
You could have?
Whatever I would have chosen, I would have been great at. It was in me. Like I have that ability,
Yeah.
that drive,
I mean, it
that
makes
determination.
sense. I mean,
It just wasn't. It just wasn't. Would I have been as good of a baseball player as I would a football player? I don't know. would I be any good at football? Like, you never know. Soccer was really my first sport. And I was supposed to join the U.S. national team when I was like 13. A couple of my coaches were from Trinidad and Tobago. And we used to have this AAU league. And I remember, like, growing up how we grew up, I just could never imagine we got to move to London and Paris. And, like, you know, like, how are we going to pay the bills? How are we going to chase, like, a dream that we don't know is going to work out? And it's just, like, football for me was just an easier thing. Like, I just knew I would make it. And basketball was there. I never forget. The only way I was playing basketball is if I went to UNC because Roy Williams camp wanted to be like Mike. Like, I only wanted to play at UNC basketball. That was it. And I went to the camp. I won MVP in whatever grade that was. I'll never forget having the white Kobe Mambas on. Like, I'm like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just.
So what are these things that you think you've given up so much? Okay, so your weekends when you were a kid, that's a lot because kids need free time. That's true. But what else? Like, as it go,
But it wasn't that to me, though. Then when it wasn't that, it was like I was doing what I loved, you know? But I'm like looking back on it now and it's like, no, bro, you every weekend, it was traveling somewhere to go do this.
When you're actually doing it, I mean, like when you're with the Giants or the Browns or the Rams, the Ravens, you were there for a while, right?
Loved it.
This episode is sponsored by Factor. If you didn't already know by the longer days and scent of suntan lotion in the air, summer's here and our schedules are busier than ever. Let's face it, between work, life, well, that covers a lot, and pretending you're outdoorsy on Instagram, cooking is now just aspirational performance art. That's where Factor comes in. Factor meals arrive fresh and ready to eat. Somebody already ate this one. Perfect for any active lifestyle this summer. They offer 45 weekly menu options, whether you're calorie smart, protein plus, keto, or just kind of hungry. Factor's got something perfect for you. Factor powers your day, sun up to sundown, which means you don't have to scarf down almonds between meetings ever again. They've got real breakfasts, delicious lunches, and dinners like coconut lime, curried tofu, which, let's be honest, is something you'd never make for yourself. But isn't it nice when someone else does it for you? So enjoy more this summer. Get Factor if you want all the flavor and none of the fuss. No prep, no cleanup, no pretending, just food. Real food. Food. Food that you didn't ruin by attempting to be a chef. I love Factor, delicious meals made in minutes. That leaves me more time for me to do what I'm really good at, making you laugh at things that probably shouldn't be that funny. Get started at factormeals.com/random50off and use code RANDOM50OFF to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code RANDOM50OFF at factormeals.com/random50off for 50% off plus free shipping. factormeals.com/random50off. This episode is sponsored by ZBiotics, the probiotic that turns hair of the dog from an act of desperation into an act of premeditation. Now I get why everyone is talking about it. ZBiotics pre-alcohol probiotic drink is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. Yes, genetically engineered. Science has finally stopped building robots long enough to address your morning despair. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle those rough mornings that we've all experienced. Here's how it works. When you drink alcohol, it gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this toxic byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for rough days after partying a bit too much. ZBiotics pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to make pre-alcohol your first drink of the night, drink responsibly, and you'll feel your best tomorrow. Because even if your decisions aren't always smart, your probiotics can be. Summer is here, which means more opportunities to celebrate the warm weather. Before that, backyard barbecue, brew, glass of Pinot, watching the sunset at the beach, or cocktail by the campfire, don't forget your Z-Biotics pre-alcohol. Drink one before drinking and wake up feeling great and ready to take on the next day and all that summer has to offer. Go to zbiotics.com/random to learn more and get 15% off your first order when you use random at checkout. Z-Biotics is backed with 100% money-back guarantee, so if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Love the Ravens?
Loved every
Who is your favorite quarterback ever? What a good question. Like, I
It's
almost
a
thought of
tough
it.
question because there's so many different, it's so many different facets. Like, there wasn't a quarterback that I didn't not like. Obviously, Eli went to his high school, and every Friday when I grew up in New Orleans, I used to be like, what is going on? Like, there's some loud noises going on. Like, really a movie. Literally, watch this. I'm talking about, I lived right here. There was a gate right here. I used to walk to the gate and watch the football game. And this is Isidore Newman. And I didn't know nothing about it.
Who's that?
Isidore Newman, Eli, Peyton Manning.
Yeah, Archie Manning, the father, the paterfamilias of Eli and Peyton. He played for. Who did he play for in the pros? The Oilers? No, somebody like that. But yeah, I mean, he was. And now the kid. Don't they have a kid now who's coming up?
Arch,
Yeah.
bloodline. You know?
Yeah.
It's like
No,
I grew up,
I mean, DNA.
I'm talking about 100 feet. Like, I'm talking about one football field, maybe 2 football fields max. I lived right there.
Do you think that was destiny that you wound up catching his passes?
I don't know. It just happened to work out like
Right.
that. But it was just like it literally could be a movie. Like, I remember walking up to the fence and I was like watching and I was like, I want to play here. You know what I mean? Like, I had no idea of anything. And because growing up in New Orleans, it would have either been Newman or St. Aug.
You have a very sophisticated, mature attitude for someone who's 32, because I remember being 32, and I didn't.
Yeah. I didn't. I've been through, I think I've done my 22 through 32 was a 20 through 40 with what I had to go through and experience and all those things. And yet,
Yes.
I still have a lot to learn. And yet, I'm still someone who wants to learn. Like, when someone like we
That's
sit down and
most
have a
important.
conversation,
Yeah.
I want to learn.
That's the most important
I'm not
thing.
somebody who, I think I know it. No.
That is the best.
I want
I am the same
to
way.
learn.
Absolutely.
Somebody younger than me could teach me something.
I doubt it. But but my favorite 3 words are I don't know. Because every time I say that, somebody tells me something. And I was facetious about that. You absolutely can learn from people younger than you. I love that. Luckily, the people that younger than me are also better looking.
Yeah, but
So
if you
it
don't
really
have that
works
mentality that you can't learn from somebody else, then it just, I don't know, it's just like you think not too highly of yourself or whatever it is, but you're just not like, you're not open. Like,
No. But I mean, the classic mistake of youth, and I suffered it also, was thinking you're so dumb, you don't know what you don't know. So you think you know it all. And, what most people have to discover painfully through life is, if you had just listened to this person, opened your mind, opened your ears, they were trying to save you.
right.
So much pain. But it's almost, it's ironic.
That's how I feel. That's where I stop you and I'd be like, for me, type of person I am, I have to touch that stove to know that it was hot.
It's not just you. It's everybody.
Everyone has to learn.
Everybody.
It's the only way for someone to learn.
If you could.
I get it that you can, learn from my mistakes. You don't have to be like me, but no. I mean, for me, I have to grow that way. Like, that's how I'm going to grow. I needed to do that.
It's a shame because
like,
we could
kids.
save so much pain. And I would say, I'm just pulling this out of my ass, but like 1 out of 10 times when somebody older imparts some wisdom to a younger person that says, I'm telling you, I've been down this road. I've seen this movie.
But that was your life.
I've stopped at this inn. I know, but you're doing the same thing. We all have the same patterns. I'm telling you, you could save yourself so much. I think like 1 out of 10 times that lands. And the person actually avoids the mistake they would have made. 9 out of 10 times, they just got to do it for
For
themselves.
sure, but also let's compare the 1 out of 10 to the 9 out of 10. Like, who knows what it does for that person? Like, maybe
Right.
the 1 out of 10 who learned didn't learn in other areas
You're
down the
right.
line. The 9 out of 10 who had to burn their hand
So true.
took all the information in and they understood for the next time that something was coming. Like, you just gotta, like, everybody is everybody. We all have our own lives. We all deal with our own shit. And that's just how it's gotta be. Like, we all have to. I wake up every day, I gotta look myself in the mirror. I gotta understand my problems. I gotta understand my flaws. Not to discredit anybody else, but at the end of the day, like, I gotta handle me and mine. Like,
Especially now that you got a kid.
I tell people right now, like, I'm in the middle of my own storm. I'm holding my umbrella, and my son and my family and the people who I love and care for are under my umbrella. I can't hold your umbrella right now.
Umbrella. What? Wasn't that
Ella,
a big?
Ella, hey.
Wasn't that a big
See?
song?
See, I ain't take your jacket off.
Well, oh my God! You're gonna sing Umbrella now.
Look,
Do it.
Got me then.
Let's
Put
do it.
umbrella
Let's.
on, man.
Yeah, that's quite a jacket.
Yeah, it might be. Oh,
That's a beautiful. Oh yeah.
might need this.
Take your but you can reattach that
Don't worry
yourself.
about it,
But
we'll get it.
that's okay. We can even keep rolling with this. And I'm sure we were talking before about how you said you're really 40. You.
I'm not 40.
No, but like mentally, because you do, like, when you're 22, not only you're playing this game in front of a lot of people. I mean, most people are not doing something in front of all those people, whatever they're doing. And then after the game, you have to, like, sit down in front of the press.
But not
You
even.
have to go to that table where you sit. I feel like it's the rock bottom worst thing ever you could ever watch on television is any sort of interview with an athlete. It's just
It's kind of wrong, but it's like even for me, as a 22-year-old, everybody talks about this catch, and it's like, oh, they like to try and reflect and be like, oh, he only had one catch, and I'm like, I think that was touchdown number 8 of the season or whatever.
Yeah, no, you're
whatever. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like,
I'm
come
a
on,
fan. I know how good you are.
Let's be real.
Yeah, the people who watch the game know.
Stop it.
Right.
But it's like at the same point in time, it's like, yeah, that was one catch. That was touchdown number 8. But to me, I'm over here as a 22-year-old who's now been handed the world. And now you have, I'll never forget the catch happened. I went from like almost being at 300K to, by the time we had the game next week, 1 million followers. The week after that, close to 1.5, 2. Like going into my second year, 2.3 million followers. Like just taking off, and people around the world hearing about it. And it's like, not everybody can carry that.
No, how many followers do you have? Okay, but it's a lot. I know it's a lot. I know you're like crazy. I mean, I've got 10,000 on Beeper.
Yeah, I'll just say for the sport that I play, I've traveled across the world, and I fucking love it because it's like, it's great. Like, I could be anywhere in the world, and not anywhere, but people
you
know
have fans. Yeah,
who I am. And like, as a football player, we wear masks. We're not playing basketball. Like, it doesn't happen to anybody. I'm not Tom Brady, who's the motherfucking GOAT. Like, there's only certain people who are like, etched in stone, like, and it just so happens
so you
that
think he's the GOAT of football? I'm not arguing. I'm just asking.
I'm not arguing with you either. That's like,
yeah. I mean, he is pretty amazing. I mean, seven.
I used to dislike him.
Yeah, you try and it's hard.
No, I used to dislike him.
No, I tried to.
But I loved him because it's like, why the fuck does he keep winning?
Right.
He beat my Rams, and the Rams is my team. Like, you know what I mean?
Well,
he
also, I mean, even if he just had the Super Bowls with the Patriots, it would be an amazing number. It's very hard to get to the Super Bowl. But then to leave the team, I mean, the studliest move he ever did was to leave the team and win a Super Bowl with another team, because that was it was this. Yeah. It was the mic drop of all time. It was like, I can do it without Bill Belichick. Thank you.
For sure.
And, that led directly to Jordan Hudson.
Yeah.
And so it was a tragedy. No, it wasn't. I think she's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic he's with her.
But at the
I
end
think
of
it's
the day,
fantastic a coach can get young pussy. That's
Yeah.
how great sports is.
listen, man, life's great. It's just like you gotta respect though. Like Bill was a real dog too. Like he was a real he's one of those coaches
Belichick?
who he really was, bro. He was one of those people who I'll never forget.
But
Like
you
coming
didn't
up to
play
him,
for him.
it was close. There was
Really?
times, yeah. That was like
Would you have wanted to do?
absolutely.
Yeah, because he's
Tom Brady
great.
was Tom Brady.
You want to? Oh, of course, and Brady was there.
Tom
That would
Brady
have
was
been.
my guy.
Oh, that would have been
But
awesome.
it's also then funny that like I played with Eli, who Eli was the only person to beat Tom, and it's just like that kind of like Newman connection. So it's like it's always like a bud, but like Eli was really like my fucking guy. Like, and people don't know it, and they always try and go back to this one interview that I did when I was young, and it's like, oh, you threw your quarterback under the bus, and it's like you're telling a 24, 25-year-old man who's trying to
Yeah.
accept a check to set himself up from an organization. So he can't really speak out on our organization. He can't speak out on a quarterback. But you want him to take all the blame for it, but yet it's a lot more than that that's at fault. It's like, I've had this
it's.
conversation with Eli. Like,
I mean,
I
that's.
know for sure how much. I used to text Eli. I'm like, you're 7th on the list for greatest of all time. Let's get it. This is 2015. Let's fucking get it. Like, we got shit to do. And it's like, when I was at the Giants, do you know how bad I would have loved to see Eli go out with the Super Bowl? Like, on his last, like, boom. Motherfucker, you did it. Like, I don't know, like, you did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was what it was for me. Like, it was deeper than that. And like, people got it so confused because the media tries to play their games and they try to play their role and they know how to create the story and make it this and make it controversial just so people read it, and then enough people read it, and enough people who probably aren't happy with themselves buy into it, and they all buy into it and they make it bigger. It's just a vicious cycle.
I see this. I mean, when Aaron was here, he was talking about Devontae Adams, and I remember Terrell Owens crying. You remember that? Like, that's my quarterback, and I love it because it's like it just shows the camaraderie, and also like it's like sports is great for being like transcending race.
Sure.
It's such a, I've said this many times before on my show, it's a great example for society because obviously people can do it. They play together and the love that you see the players have for each other.
Yeah.
And it's like, because you're on my team, not on my race, you're on my team. And I mean,
Fuck that. We have 4
quarter.
quarters, and we need to win. How did we win? We all did this shit together.
But
Boom, that's it. We
especially
celebrate.
the love that I see between like quarterbacks and their receivers. I mean, they go together like drunk and disorderly. I mean, they just
And people don't
love each other.
I'll be honest, and I hate this. People do not understand what it's like to be a receiver. They like to put these times, prima donna, this, that. Imagine this.
Especially on receivers.
Imagine this. 63 plays in the game, average. You're the top receiver. You only get 8 to 10 to 12 opportunities out of the 63.
Right.
The O-line has to block. Everything has to block. The routes have to be the coverage just for you to get one opportunity to catch a pass.
How do you get open?
Fuck, that's what you do when you train. But I'm just saying it.
But
in
how
a sense
do
of
you
like,
get? How does a receiver get open?
beat them off line of scrimmage. It's just time and a place, like everything else. You know? But it's like, for me, it's the idea that people have of a receiver. It's like, oh, he's selfish. Everybody else on the football field, the O-line, as soon as the ball's hiked, they get to touch somebody with pads and block them or not block them. The quarterback, he gets the ball in his hands. The running back, if he gets a handoff, he's getting the ball. The linebackers, they see the running back getting the ball, they're coming up to make the play. They see the quarterback dropping back, they're dropping back and cover. The DBs are guarding the receiver. The receiver is the most selfless position on the field. We have to rely on everything else to go right just for one opportunity to catch a pass.
I never
People
thought
don't
of
think
it
about
that
that shit like that.
Yeah.
You don't, because you're like, oh no, he's the prima donna and all this. No, motherfucker, I worked hard the same way he did, the
Right.
same way, just for this opportunity to catch a pass. So fucking right, I'm gonna be pissed if I got open and I didn't get the ball, and this was my chance.
And some plays you're just blocking, right?
Some plays I'm just blocking.
That's got to be boring.
No, but not when you're blocking for a Saquon Barkley.
Right.
Not when you're blocking for. I got caught so many times. I'll never forget. I'll never forget. Like Saquon comes to the Giants and finally being like, I have somebody. Like, never leaving New York. Like, what the fuck? Like, yes, I got somebody. Let's build off here. And it was the Philly game. We were in Philly, man. This dude is just, he's the best, right? And I'll never forget. I don't know what play there was, but he caught like he took a hand off and he was coming up the left side and he bounced and da da da. And I'm like looking at the jumbotron, like trying to block my guy, but he's like breaking right to me, and I'm like trying to get out his way so he could be great because he's one of the best to ever put on cleats. I'm telling you that, and he's gonna continue to show that, and I just love it for him. But it's like there's nothing better. Also, as a receiver, like you spring that block that made the touchdown go, like that's just as good as catching a touchdown. Like, cool. Every receiver wants to catch a touchdown. Come on, be real.
You know what? In my world, the version of that is like if I'm a comedian on, like Martin Short or something, like last thing in the world is I want to get in his way. What I want to do is just set him up. In my business, playing a straight man, that's blocking.
Yep.
And it's extremely satisfying, and it's a skill that lots of people don't have. I love doing it. They pay me the same.
Yeah.
Whether I'm getting the laugh or you're getting the laugh.
You
know, the check is still the same. And it is a great feeling, a feeling of camaraderie and selflessness and doing something for somebody else.
For sure, bro. It's a mentality. And it's like, that again, break it down to this. There's good people, there's bad people. And I'll simulate back to be like, there's some receivers who do want to score to be like, it's me. Like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And there's some receivers who are like, I did that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I scored, like, for us, though. Like, we're good. Like, let's go. Defense, you do your thing. Like, it's a camaraderie
So
thing.
what about Aaron Rodgers?
Love him. We've had conversations.
So why don't you join the Steelers? That'd be great. Because he's on the Steelers now.
I won't say that it's not a possibility, and I won't say that I haven't had any communications, but I also
great coach. You'd love to play for that coach.
Fucking love Tomlin. I was actually supposed to be drafted to the Steelers.
Really?
That was the meeting that I had that I was like, I think I'm going to the Steelers. And the Giants ended up taking me at 12. Steelers had the 16th pick, maybe. I think they took Ryan Shazier in that draft. And it just was.
Well, I hope I see more of you because you're always entertaining to me, and I'm
not done. I'll tell you that.
I watch sports to be entertained, to waste time in the most elegant way I can. I
smoke you one of those?
No, I do. It's too passive. Pot I use for positive things, like I indulge myself here. Yep. I love it. But I would never smoke pot and watch football.
You like cards?
Cards?
Yeah.
No, like bridge.
No, cards, rummy,
rummy, bridge. That's it. Yeah, those are card games. No. No. I mean, poker. You mean like that?
I mean, yeah. I wish I knew how to play poker.
I don't. I mean, no. Is that what you do for fun? Cards?
Love cards.
Really?
Love stimulating my mind. It's something. I feel like something about playing cards with somebody, whether it's rummy, whatever it is, you get to tell a lot about that person and their intent. You get to tell a lot about their decision making. How do they go about, like, okay, I need to get my 3-3 and my 4, but I got to get a pure run, but I have this, but I have that. What decision am I going to make? You get to tell a lot about people.
But the problem with cards is that it's too much luck involved. It's like you can't make a 3 come up. You can only play the cards you're given, as the saying
But
goes.
isn't that the same in life? We're all given fucking cards, and all I can do is make what I have of what I have. Somebody who's poor and doesn't have money, but goes out and finds a way to be
Sure.
fucking successful,
Yeah.
they were
No,
dealt a shitty hand,
I
but they
agree.
stepped it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Like, in life, we're all dealt the
Or
cards that were dealt,
exactly.
and however you deal with that is how you deal with that.
No, that's the right attitude. I agree. But I just feel like with cards, like in life, you're dealt one hand, when you're born, and that, yeah. Maybe you're dealt a few other hands along the
Some
way.
people are dealt a better hand, some
Yeah,
people are
absolutely.
dealt a shitty hand.
Right.
But I've seen a shitty hand turn out to be a winning hand, and I've seen a winning hand
Yeah, no, you're
find
right.
a way to be a shitty hand.
Yeah, and parents have a lot to do with it. That you can, if you have great parents, you were dealt an ace.
Yep.
And if you have shitty parents, you were dealt a deuce. But people do overcome that. But I don't know. I guess I'm more of a determinist. I feel like, yes, I know the cards. Maybe I just have known my cards for such a long time now that I feel like, yeah, I played them out. And, in the game of life, did I win 37-12? No, I did. It was not a cream. I feel like I won the game, but it was more like 24-17. You know what I mean? Like I've had many setbacks and many defeats and many things, but generally,
the jokes with me and my friends, like, it could be 25-24. Like, I'm gonna look at you after we won and be like, I just beat the fuck out of you. You know what I mean? Like, just to mess with them. Like, it's like, bro, you won by 1 point. No, I beat the fuck out of you. Like, it's just that kind of like, I won, period. It doesn't matter how it is. And it's just like, I feel like life is all about perception. I always say, perception is reality, but like, your perception is not my reality.
no.
And once I used to live by everybody else's perception, and you're always trying to please that, as a person, you're always going to find yourself displeased, and it's never going to be good for you. So that means it's never going to be good for the people that you're trying to do more for. It's just, you got to find your own way in this life. I feel like I can't rely on someone to.
No, you've got to rely on you. That's at the
Yeah,
end of the day.
it's too late for that.
Yeah. Well, but one of the cards that's kind of shitty when you're an athlete is you don't get the longevity card. Like,
Yep.
I'm still like working my job at the top of my game, and I'm almost 70. That's not going to happen in sports. Now, you could go into another field, and you may. I mean, at some point, even if you play this year, next year, at some point in the near future, there are no 40-year-old receivers.
Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice was 40? Really? Okay, well, I wouldn't advise it. You're going to get hurt.
Well, if you do, you do. That's what you choose.
You think you could be a receiver at 40?
What you choose?
Okay, well, but not 50. At some point,
Yeah.
it's like
I mean, come on, bro. You got a family, we got kids,
but
like, come on.
like, what do you want to do when the football ends?
I just wanna, to be honest, I keep a lot of my things private because I don't want people to steal my ideas, but like creating my own, like when I was with Nike, there was nothing more I wanted to do than build Nike up. Build, like, they used to call me Mr. East Bay. You know what I mean? Like when I was young. You remember East Bay catalogs?
No.
Where
What's
you
that?
had the cleats, the gloves, the everything, blah, blah, blah. Like,
You mean where you buy athletic equipment?
yep. All I wanted, my mama, when she got her
Jockstraps,
check,
everything?
I never wore those until I got to the league. But,
Never wore a jockstrap?
yeah, no.
Are you sure it was your mother's running?
My other Bobby John. Yeah, anyways.
Maybe it was that.
But all I wanted was that cleat. The orange Nike Sherbert, Nike Mercurial Vapor, that one, the sparkly orange one. That was it. Boom. The David Beckham Baby Blue Predator Sparkler that came out. Adidas with the strap with the big toe. Boom. The Nike Mercurial Cristiano Ronaldo carbon fiber. That was like my thing. Like, it was always my thing. It was something that And to be honest, I actually haven't talked about him a lot, and I have to give him my major salute. I was supposed to meet with him recently. Ronaldinho was one of the biggest inspirations of my life.
Who?
Ronaldinho,
Who's that?
soccer player. The way he fucking played, the smile he had on his face, his movements.
Who does he play for?
Now,
Ever.
himself, I guess. You know what I mean? He played for
what team?
Barcelona, Brazil.
Oh,
He had the gold Nike Tempos. Like he was.
where's he from?
He was the Brazil.
Brazil.
Yeah, he was the man. Like he's.
Is that where the greatest soccer players are from? Like Pele, wasn't he Brazilian?
I think so.
That's like the last one I remember. I'm not into soccer.
You know, look, hey, I'm not a historian either myself, but Ronaldinho was somebody who inspired me more than people could ever imagine. And it's just like, I'll never forget. I was talking about meeting your heroes and blah, blah. For me, my biggest inspiration is those kids, the way that they look at me, the way that they wanted to dance, the way that they wanted to do all that. Like,
Right.
that kept me going for a long time because the grown-ass men who have their opinions and feel like they get to say whatever about whatever, like, that didn't inspire me at some point. It's just that it's another man judging me on telling me what I should and shouldn't be when they're not in my position in dealing with what I'm dealing with. You know, so I'll never forget how Mike was for me, Mike Vick, and I feel like he truly
What are you saying you're dealing with at that time?
had
When you said don't judge me on you don't know what I'm dealing with. What were you dealing with?
just in general life, like, bro, you don't know what it's like to have everybody watching you and you just want to go into CVS and you get some Sour Punch straws and Gatorade, but people want to take a picture. But people also don't know that your Gma might have passed on that day, and now you don't want to take a picture.
But don't you think that's
But now you're the asshole because you didn't want to take a picture. But I'm a human. I'm going through
I
stuff.
understand that very well. But don't you think as we said before, you dealt different cards. Some are good, some are bad. Don't you think the trade-off of that for all the things that fame gets you is worth it? Wouldn't you? You wouldn't trade that trade-off, would you?
I understand that, but also, as a human, I have emotions. I have things.
I do too.
But I'm
get
saying
it.
I have things that, like, today might not have been my fucking day. Like, it might have been a bad day.
But you know how I avoid that? I don't go to CVS. And you don't have to either. You're rich. You have a bazillion followers.
I feel that part. I feel that part too,
Amazon.
but maybe
I feel like any celebrity in CVS wants to be in CVS.
I feel that, but maybe I needed specifically for me, I needed to go grab that candy. It wasn't somebody else bring me.
You wanted the experience of everyday life.
I needed that for me.
Right.
And maybe it's just as simple as that. Like,
well, tough shit. I don't feel sorry for you.
Well, I don't feel sorry for me either.
You're Odell fucking Beckham.
Fuck it,
You know what? If you can't go buy your hard candy at CVS, cry me a river. But
we live.
I told you.
We learn. See, you learned.
I'm telling you.
You could have told me the stove was hot. I had to touch it.
I could have, but I didn't listen when they told me the stove was hot.
Well, shit. We both did.
But it's good to get to know you. I mean, it's nice to meet your sports idols and find out they're cool because sometimes you meet people who you've only seen from afar and they do the opposite. They disappoint you.
Yeah.
They're dumber, meaner, or just arrogant, and you're cool.
Yeah.
That's
I just
great.
feel like at the end of the day, the way my parents raised me, the way whatever happened, my experiences, like, I'm a real ass person. And I won't change. And I'm not saying that I won't get better, but I'm saying I won't change for anybody in that sense unless it's something that I need to do for me. I am who I am, for better or for worse. Like I say, I know my flaws, I know my good shit, I know my bad shit. And I'm okay with that. When I lay my head at night, I'm okay with that. If I laid my head at night and I had to be like, damn, I didn't stand for who I was in this moment, that's worse than laying down your head at night and be like, oh, I could lay good because I made everyone else.
Who's your close friends that you can always rely on when you're having these kind of thoughts and you got to ask about what's real and who can you depend on to tell you the truth and to know the fame lifestyle and all that stuff that you're talking about? Who do you go to?
I think it's hard because it's like, so LeBron James is one of my
LeBron James.
biggest role models, idols, this, that, third,
Also
whatever.
a friend?
Brother, all that,
Right,
right? There's
okay.
so many people, but I'm like,
Sure, he understands all that.
every situation is different. Like, I can only take a piece from Bron. I can only take a piece from here, a piece from there. The same way when I watch Allen Iverson, I can only take a piece from here. The same way
Allen
when I watch Kobe.
Iverson.
What I'm saying, the same way when I like all these people, I can only take a piece, and then I'm always gonna be myself.
All sports people? Are those all the only people who can understand? No?
No, you got, regular people. You got your mom. You obviously, everyone looks at their mom, their dad, like, growing up as to who I am or how I can understand things. But like when you're gifted or blessed, or I don't know what the word would be, but when you're put in another situation and you have to live in a different way, it's kind of like you're left to fend for your own at the end of the day.
I understand truly the downsides to it. But most people would say, I would give my right nut.
Yeah, but they didn't have that opportunity, so they can't. I would give my right nut to have been 6'6", but God didn't want that for me.
Oh,
And God
please.
knew. God knew why He didn't make me 6'6".
What are you, 6'3"?
Ha. See, I like you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why? What are you?
Yeah. I mean, I like you. We don't need to talk about it. But
You're an athlete. So you're saying it would be, of course,
I would be a whole different man, person.
Football players like tall targets. And quarterbacks have to be tall now, too.
I think women like tall targets, too. Like, it just...
That's true.
Could have been playing a different sport. Who knows what I would have been if I was 6'6".
Right. I mean, again, not going to cry for you.
I'm not going to cry for me either.
Like,
I think God did that on purpose.
So you didn't get that last 4 inches?
He had to humble me. He had to... But like when he was making me, he was like, damn, I did a good job, but it was brewing over the pot, so he put the pot on the top, and he was like, he's got to stop right here.
You would have been too powerful at 6'6".
For sure. For sure, I think so. I don't think I would have been as good of a man as I was if I was a little bit taller.
Is that true?
I think so.
Wow. I can't think of much that would have gone better. I mean, you got to the top of your field professionally.
Yeah, I just think my pride, man, I would be a little bit more like, I'd be looking over people.
Conceited.
Yeah, a little bit.
You'd literally be looking down on people.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, well, I'm 5'8". How do you think I feel? I mean, I've been
put your wallet underneath both feet, and then how tall are you? Exactly. I like that one.
It's not.
You're 6'6" yourself.
Well, I mean that's. I hear guys say things like that all the time. But I guess when you have a kid like you do, it's.
I always said before I ever had my son, I said I fear the day that I have to raise a child in this world.
Well, I hope you're a traditional parent. I have a dim view of modern parenting. Not that I am one, but I'm not oblivious to what it looks like because I see these little rapscallions around me sometimes when I'm out and so forth, and they have no respect for their parents. And
I feel that.
I don't take any shit from your kid.
No, for sure.
It'll make your life and the kid's life better.
For sure. I'll take a little shit from him, though. Sometimes he gives you that look, and it's like, damn it. Like, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, but I'm looking at me, and I'm like...
Right.
So, but every now and then,
But these 3, come on. I'm sure that...
He's a great kid, though.
There's no turning down a 3-year-old, I'm guessing. But when he gets a little older...
He gets what he wants.
Keep him away from social media so much.
By that time, it might be implanted in their brains.
Yes, it might be implanted in our brains, and the robots are going to take over.
Yeah, they got a bunch.
Don't do that. You need those hands.
I know, but
these are very famous hands.
Keep it strong.
Bro?
Yeah.
I hate to give you my left again, but
it's
I'm telling you.
I mean it. I know it's
my fuck you finger, too.
I wouldn't disclose it. I would have gave you the little...
Okay.
Well,
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
This was so much fun. Oh, that's right. You aren't tall.
Oh,
wow. Well, even better on you for succeeding in sports.
Yes, indeed.